What's going on, guys? Bobby with Consumer Time Capsule, back with another review for you here. And today we're back at the Treehouse to look at 3 brand new chips for this year. So Ryan, come on in and take a peek. We've got salted caramel Lays, Double Crunch Ruffles, honey mustard flavor, and Tangy Pickle Doritos. We're talking about 3 really wild brand new chips. Actually, I guess 1 pretty reliably delicious chip and then 2 pretty crazy ones. So definitely looking forward to this one. So let's get started with the most conventional offering, the Ruffles. So taking a look at the Ruffles here, it's the honey mustard flavor of Double Crunch Ruffles. Now, we reviewed the first 2 flavors, which I believe were hot sauce and barbecue, and loved them. And boy, honey mustard sounds like maybe even the best of the bunch. $3 at a Daniels, West Virginia Cornerstone IGA grocery store.
Oh, yeah, I'm gonna need a lot of these.
Yeah. I've only found them at that one store in Daniels, West Virginia so far, so I hope that they're a little bit easier to find now that it's been a few weeks.
Bogarting all the honey mustard.
I know it. That's perfect. Like, wow. It's a little salty. It's a lot crunchy. You get the mustard flavor and you also get the honey sweetness. It's like every flavor that you would want is just crammed in here. This better be a permanent flavor. This is absolutely delicious.
This is great.
Ruffles are a classic product, let's face it. They're a reliable brand on any grocery store shelf. But when they can make something that's this much better than their flagship, this should just be what Ruffles are. And the regular Ruffles should be half crunch Ruffles. This is unbelievable. Great way to, I think this is just too high of a bar for the next 2 to match up to. Maybe we did this a little backwards, but I guess let's get into the Tangy Pickle Doritos. That brings us to the Tangy Pickles Doritos flavor. Now, this past June, these were released as a Dollar General exclusive, but I searched for them basically all over the Mid-South, Texas, Arkansas, Oklahoma, Louisiana, Mississippi, and I was never able to find them at any Dollar General that I went to. Then all of a sudden I went on a road trip, and in Knoxville, Tennessee, at a Food City, I found the Tangy Pickle Doritos just in the nice small bags like I like them for $1.89. It's Doritos with a crunchy sour punch, according to the bag here. Beautiful bag design. Very innovative flavor idea for them. Of course, pickle Pringles have long been a great flavor of theirs. Let's see what it's going to be like on a tortilla chip this time around.
Took a big share.
All right, let's see what we got. The lingering flavor is pretty nicely vinegary. The initial flavor is really like a, basically like a plain tortilla chip. You don't ever really taste the tortilla chip of a Dorito just because it's so amplified in its flavor with the Cool Ranch or the nacho cheese. This is, yeah, this is, you know, because they do the hint of lime Tostitos and stuff. This is kind of their twist on that.
I feel like Doritos are usually dusted. This is almost no dusting. It's like the flavor's built into the chip.
I mean, there's a little bit of dusting, but yeah, you're right. I do think that the flavor might be kind of installed in the tortilla, which is very interesting. Like I said, it is kind of reminiscent of that hint of lime kind of thing, even though it's a pickle, but you're still getting that tanginess.
I feel like in a chip cocktail, like if you were combining this with another chip.
Like a Dorito snack mix, this would be a good addition for that. But remember, the late night cheeseburger, I smell the cheese, I smell the burger.
Oh yeah.
This was part of it. This is a familiar pickle flavor for those of you that had the late night cheeseburger Doritos flavor. But it's a good one. Definitely worth checking out. Oh my God, it's, oh, you have to just smell this. What the hell is going on in this bag? And that brings us to the third and final flavor here today, definitely the wildest. It is the Salted Caramel Lay's, $2.99 at Kroger. It is a Kroger exclusive. Found these at in Fort Worth with Rachel. And here are what the chips look like, just a slightly browner version of just the classic Lay's. So Ryan, why don't you grab a little handful there, and I guess we'll see what's happening.
Oh yeah.
Taking a whiff out of this bag, it smells like a, you know, like those Cintas air fresheners that spit out in public restrooms, like that smell? That kind of smells like this.
Restroom.
Yeah, it smells like a public restroom specifically.
Well, this shouldn't exist.
So the caramel that they use is really a more on the Werther's original scope than it is on the, you know, let's say the best caramel ever made, the caramel that they put inside of an ice cream Snickers.
This is a Werther's.
This is a Werther's. And not even like the chewy Werther's. This is like the hard candy Werther's.
Yes.
This is the hard stuff. The saltiness seems to just be the saltiness of the chip.
Butterscotch discs, I believe, is what the
Butterscotch discs definitely sums it up. Mm-hmm. Oh,
They're
yeah.
growing on me.
That second bite, as I was washing it down, it tasted like when you just got that last little disc of your Werther's in your mouth and you just swallow it, it tasted exactly the same. I don't hate it.
No.
I expected by the smell that I would hate it. The smell is pretty repulsive.
At first, the first bite is like...
It's jarring.
It's too fake. Yeah,
It's too fake.
Like your mind doesn't know how to comprehend this being a chip. But then
Yeah.
it's good.
It's solid. Dessert chips. That should be a thing.
That should be a thing.
So getting into the gimmick grade here, look, Honey Mustard Double Crunch Ruffles. I never had any doubt that they were going to be delicious, but is it that wild, that interesting? Is the bag design literally anything? Not at all. So the gimmick is a 2 out of 10 because it is not a gimmick product. The Tangy Pickle Doritos, to me, great bag design, very disruptive type flavor strategy. So I'm going to give that an 8 out of 10. Salted Caramel Lay's, that is a bold move. That needs to be rewarded with a very high grade, 9 out of 10 gimmick grade. With a better bag design, I could have been convinced to even 10 it up, but you know, it needed a little bit more in the design elements for me to truly grace it with the 10 out of 10, but definitely the most interesting product of the day. Now, that was the silver lining of the Lay's cloud, but as we get into the capsule countdown here, third place does need to go to Salted Caramel Lay's. Now that said, it exceeded my expectations coming in, and it far exceeded my expectations once I opened it and smelled it. By the second or third chip, you really get that Werther's vibe. If you love Werther's Original, just trust me on this one. You're going to love these chips. If you don't like Werther's Original, you will definitely hate these chips. There is no question about it. So hopefully you have access to some sort of Kroger or Kroger-owned store. You know, think about, you know, Fred Meyer or Gerb's or Dillon's or wherever you live. If you have a Kroger-owned store, you should be able to find these. Boy, oh boy, taste-wise, I'm gonna go for a 5.5 out of 10. I'm pretty impressed, and I think it's pretty close to the best case scenario you can have for a salted caramel chip. Second place, you know, it was a tighter race than I expected, but I think we all knew coming in what would be the taste winner. Second place does go to the Tangy Pickle Doritos. Sorry to be as obvious as humanly possible in this capsule countdown, but I do think that all three pretty much met or exceeded expectations. Tangy Pickle Doritos, good vinegariness, gave you an opportunity to really taste the tortilla chip of a Dorito, which you really don't get that often, which was a pleasant surprise. Ryan, I mean, I know you definitely seem to be, like, into it. Like, you seem to be genuinely interested in, like, the different, like, it evolves. The taste in your mouth is just, It was weird because it seemed like an under-seasoned chip, but also had a really strong aftertaste. Just an interesting flavor. Really well executed, 7.5 out of 10. Second place on today's Capsule Countdown. No surprises here though. The winner today, the gold medalist on the first 2021 Capsule Countdown, is the Ruffles Double Crunch Honey Mustard flavor. Look, perfect execution. Is it quite as good as like the buffalo flavored, buffalo wing flavored Double Crunch Ruffles? I don't think it was quite that good, but I'd say it's the best honey mustard chip going, and I love honey mustard flavor in a chip, and they did an awesome job. Perfect balance of all the flavors in play. 9 out of 10. First place on today's Capsule Countdown. Okay, look, we've been doing all grocery store stuff since the pandemic hit. I think our last review was literally about a year ago at a fast food place. It's time to put the spotlight on some fast food stuff. As I referenced on 368.5, I'm starting to get a lot of McDonald's signs. That's kind of the primary focus of my collection right now. And with the McRib just having its first national offering of the last 15 years, thought I'd spotlight something from 2000. It is, Ryan, are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
It's the McRib Jr.
Wow.
2 tiny regular hamburger or cheeseburger buns with little mini McRibs with onions and pickles. You could get it in a combo, $3.49 in 2000 with some fries and a drink, which sounds like a freaking steal. But of course it is 2000, so I don't know what that translates to in today's dollars, but that still sounds like an unbelievable deal. What an interesting product. This is one that the only internet footprint of the McRib Jr. is a brief mention on Wikipedia, like a half-sentence mention on the McRib Wikipedia. Other than that, it's like basically like this never existed. So
I wonder
I had to bring it to you.
What the shape is. Like, the McRib has a pressed
So
shape.
the McRib looks like a rack of ribs, right? It's a boneless rack of ribs. This is a circular shape
Rib
disc. And I don't even think it's ribbed. I don't think it's ribbed. I think it's just flavored, because you don't see any like lines in the design. I mean, look, we're just judging off of one stock photo. Does anybody remember that there was a dollar menu McRib Jr. in 2000? And if
want
so,
that right now.
Good Lord, do I want it? That would be amazing. That would be a let's film outside of McDonald's and review this thing kind of thing. I love the McRib. Look, the McRib is my favorite McDonald's food possible, and I just love this inventive product that I'm glad to now give some visual representation of for the internet. On the next review, we're sticking with chips, but next time it's gonna be Pringles, including the last ever properly designed can of Pringles of all time. So it's a very somber note. Cajun fried Pringles, I'm very excited to taste them, but it is gonna be kind of sad because it's the last before Pringles changes their design this month. So I'm pretty bummed about it, but also pretty excited to get into that and some screaming hot flavors that they just introduced. So we got some of the old design, some of the new design. So join us next Monday for that. And of course, until next time, I will miss you until I see you. Cheers. I was grabbing for the wrong bag, but I'm just gonna roll with it.